Today I am going to plant two of my favorite herbs to grow indoors over the winter. You all know how expensive herbs are to purchase in the grocery store if you like them during the winter time. And so I have picked my favorites, peppermint and basil. And I have two small pots here, and I have already filled them up quite a bit with potting soil. Now I'm going to go ahead and start with my peppermint, which is one of my favorites. I love to use it in salads. It's great in the Middle Eastern dish. Also fabulous when you make mojitos. So I am going ahead and squeezing my plastic container so that I can tease out the peppermint. And this peppermint does have a good set of roots. They are a little bit kind of packed in there. So I am just teasing the bottom of the root ball apart a little bit. And by the way, I'm using organic potting soil for this because this is a food and I am going to eat it, and I try to be more careful with plants that are food plants. So I am going to go ahead, I think I'm going to use this pot. It has a little less soil in it. And just move it around, make some space, and put my peppermint in there. And he wants even more space, so we'll just transfer some of that soil and place him in there so he's deep enough in the pot. And I actually can use some of this soil from the other pot to move over into my peppermint pot to fill it up and make sure that the plant is tucked in nicely. And it just smells terrific. You know, touching peppermint leaves just gives off that lovely peppermint smell. And so I'm just firmly pressing it down, and I like to leave at least a ½ inch of space between the top of the pot and where the soil is so that it, you know, I will have room to water in the future. I have these cute little saucers that I can place it in, and then I will put that in my kitchen window. Now, my next plant, my basil, I actually bought two basil plants because I would like to get these to be really bushy so that I can continue to, over the course of the winter, cut off sections and have it continue to grow and produce more basil and get more bushy. So this first plant, actually both of these plants are very leggy because they were grown in a greenhouse. I don't know, they're not in the great place you want them to be to become more bushy. So let's see, I'm going to get rid of a little bit of potting soil from this pot to make room for my basil. And I'm actually going to trim these off. I'm going to start, and I'm planning to use this basil in my salad tonight, so I don't feel too bad about it. I'm going to trim these off at a leaf. I'm going to start here first on this plant. It's not that much shorter. I actually would like it to be a little bit shorter, but in any case, we'll see how it grows from now into the future. So this plant, I'm also going to gently loosen up the roots and place it in the pot. So I have a basin there, and this one will go off to one side. This poor little guy is so droopy and leggy, and I'm going to really cut him back even more, I think. So I'm going to go to the top of where two leaves appear, and I think I don't like going down this slope, but I'm going to try it with this one. And here's lots of basil for my salad tonight. So he looks a little sad, but he will be just fine. And I'm going to tease him out of the pot, loosen up the roots again, slightly and just tease them, squish them in there with the other plant so that they can grow together and hopefully make quite a bushy basil plant for me to harvest leaves from. So we'll just put additional soil in and tuck it in really nicely. I want it to be firm in the pot. And that's about it. Maybe have a little bit too much. Again, leaving space for watering. Since this will be in a sunny south-facing window where it's going to get warm, this plant and my peppermint plant will need to be watered more often as well. And I will make sure both, well, especially the basil is very sensitive to not having enough water. So I will be able to check it since it's right by my kitchen sink and make sure it's always having enough water so that it can continue to grow. So here's my basil. Doesn't look super happy yet, but it will. And then I will water it in, place it in my window, and I will have 2 fabulous herbs for the rest of my winter. I'm so excited. Thank you.